March 2, 1943. Paris. Under German occupation. Morning light slides across the Seine like a dull blade. It catches on shattered stone, on iron railings, on windows that no longer open freely. Inside a requisitioned administrative building, not far from the river, the air smells of ink, damp paper, and coal smoke pulled in from outside. The sound is mechanical. Typewriters, footsteps, the soft authority of men who no longer need to raise their voices. At a narrow desk near the wall sits a young woman in a plain blouse and skirt. Her hair pinned neatly back. Her posture is correct. Her eyes are down. Her fingers move with practiced speed. She types names. Dates of birth, addresses, occupations, destinations. Each line is clean. Each page is stamped. Each document disappears into a folder, carried away by someone else. The system is efficient, impersonal, deadly. She is trusted because she appears harmless. Too young, too quiet, too ordinary to matter. Around her, officers speak of quotas and timetables as if discussing rail maintenance. Deportations are reduced to logistics. Lives reduced to columns. The language is precise enough to avoid responsibility. No one asks how it feels to type the end of a family. No one asks her anything at all. At first, she does what she is told, because refusal is unthinkable, because fear has weight, because the building itself seems to watch. But as the days stretch on, something changes, not outwardly, not visibly, but inwardly. Where survival begins to argue with conscience, she notices patterns. Which names are expedited? Which transports leave full? Which never return empty? She sees how a single signature can redirect a convoy, how a minor clerical error can delay a train by hours. She learns the rhythm of the machinery, not because she wants to, but because she cannot stop herself from seeing. By day, she types death sentences. By night, she cannot sleep. Paris after curfew is a city muted into whispers. She walks home with papers still echoing in her mind. The scrape of keys, the stamp of approval, the finality hidden inside polite forms. She begins to memorize details the way others memorize prayers. The contradiction grows, unbearable. She understands something the system depends on: obedience without comprehension. The work is divided so no one feels responsible. But she comprehends everything. And comprehension is dangerous. She starts small. She remembers instead of writing things down. She notices instead of asking questions. Her face remains calm. Her typing remains flawless. That is how she survives. That is how she learns. Each document is a lesson. Each list, a map of power. The desk condemns them all. But it also reveals how condemnation works. And quietly, without permission, she begins to take it apart in her mind. Script title: The Woman Who Turned Paperwork into Weapons After Curfew. The city changes character. The streets empty. Sound carries farther. A single footstep can feel like betrayal. In a cellar beneath a shuttered shop, candlelight flickers against stone walls, illuminating faces that never meet in daylight. She arrives last. Always last. Her coat is plain. Her hands are steady. The same hands that typed deportation orders hours earlier now unfold maps smuggled out piece by piece. Carbon copies. Altered schedules. Margins annotated from memory. This is not courage born of recklessness. It is precision born of necessity. She does not command. She explains. Which guards are late on Tuesdays? Which convoys rely on one man who drinks too much? Which office stamps everything without reading after dusk? Bureaucracy has habits. Habits can be exploited. The resistance listens because what she brings cannot be guessed. It must be known. She has turned paperwork into weapons. Each raid that follows feels accidental to the occupiers. A truck breaks down at the wrong moment. A patrol arrives too late. A transport leaves half full. No alarms, no heroes. Just absence where certainty once stood. The Germans do not look inward for sabotage. They look outward. For explosives. For guns. For men in the shadows. They do not suspect the woman behind the typewriter. That blindness is her shield. The risk is absolute. If discovered, there will be no misunderstanding. No mitigation. Her knowledge alone is proof enough. She carries not just her own death, but the deaths of everyone she has helped. There is a night when the weight nearly crushes her. She stands alone in her apartment. Papers spread across the table, stove lit, one match away from erasing everything. The system taught her how to destroy records. She could disappear into safety, into silence. Instead, she remembers the faces she has never seen, the ones delayed, diverted, spared for one more day. She remembers that delay is sometimes the difference between life and history. She extinguishes the flame. The raids continue, quietly, effectively. She returns to her desk each morning, immaculate and invisible, typing with the same precision as always. The lists keep coming. So does the information. The contradiction becomes her method. By December, German command grows uneasy. Nothing is provably wrong. And yet nothing proceeds as planned. Efficiency frays at the edges. Doubt enters the machinery. She sends one final packet. Clear, undramatic, unavoidable. Then she waits. Waiting is worse than acting. It strips away the illusion of control. But Paris holds. And that, she knows, is not an accident. September 1944. Paris is liberated. The city erupts into sound, bells, shouts, footsteps without fear. Flags appear where silence once lived. Offices empty as quickly as they once filled, desks abandoned. Files scattered like shed skins. The building by the Seine is stripped of purpose overnight. She walks past it without stopping. The raids are remembered. The fighters named. Photographs are taken. Stories begin to form clean, heroic, easy to tell. There is no place in them for typists. Her files are burned. Not by enemies, but by necessity. Evidence becomes danger in peacetime. The resistance moves on. So does history. She returns to ordinary life, as if that were possible. No medals. No citations. Her name appears nowhere public. The reports she once wrote now celebrate outcomes without authors. It is easier that way. Gratitude complicates things. Years pass. Paris rebuilds. Children walk streets that almost vanished. Plaques mark destruction, not prevention. No one commemorates the train that never left. She ages quietly. She does not correct the record. Silence, after all, is a skill she learned well. History prefers clarity. It prefers visible courage. But some victories leave no ruins, no graves. No proof they were ever close. Her story dissolves into the ordinary miracle of survival. And perhaps that is the final paradox. That the people who understand evil most intimately are often the ones erased when it collapses. Wars are not only won on battlefields. Sometimes they are won at desks by those who see the machinery clearly enough to break it from within. And accept that no one will ever know their names. Paris lives on. And that, in the end, is the only testimony she ever needed.